Okay, so first thing I'd like to talk about is my 5 C's. There are 5 C's of survivability. If you do not know those, they are cover, container, some sort of a combustion device or multiple combustion devices, cordage, and some form of a cutting tool or multiple cutting tools. I'm going to go over what's in my haversack and give you a little bit of history behind what I carry, why I carry it, and more about how I acquired this haversack to begin with. First off, it is a Blackbird haversack. This was gifted to me by a good friend of mine, Blackie Thomas. For those of you who do not know who Blackie Thomas is, he has his own YouTube channel and is a master woodsman. In my opinion, he's one of the very few people out there who genuinely know what they're talking about, and he gifted me this a little over a year ago, or right about a year ago. This was originally meant for a friend of his who has been on his channel. He goes by Bear, and inside here he has sharpied to Bear. I'm not sure what else it says because a lot of it has worn off. And anyway, when I reached out to him, he told me he had a bag that he could send me, and this was originally meant for Bear, like I said, but somehow mistakenly one got sent to Bear when this one was personalized and ready to go to Bear, so he kept it and then gifted it to me. So thank you, Blackie. And what I'd like to do now is go over the contents inside my bag after I slap it around a couple of times, because it seems to be what you have to do. If you own a haversack, you have to beat on it. You watch other YouTubers and other bushcrafters who carry one of these for whatever reason. They like to smack it, and I don't know. So get a haversack and smack it around a little bit. And anyway, we'll get into mine, and I will unload the contents, and then once I unload them, we will go back and discuss each one of them one by one. So first off, this is a waxed canvas, so it does weather well. It keeps from your contents getting wet if you're careful, and if as long as you take care of this, it's definitely going to take care of you. So let's get into it. First, it opens up, and when it opens up, there is a YKK zipper that has been installed. These zippers are by far the best zippers on the market. They last forever. They're very, very, very durable. Anyway, this isn't a zipper video. I'm going to unload my contents and we'll go over them. First off, you have to have cover. So rather than carrying a tarp around, because they can be a little heavy, a little cumbersome, not all tarps, I'm not saying all tarps are heavy, but for me, just an emergency tarp, you know, it suits my needs just fine. I have grommets on here, and you know, I can stake it down anytime I need to. I can set this up in many configurations. It does fold out to about a 6x8. You want to have probably an 8x8 if you can get a hold of one. This one I chose because it has the reflective side inside, so in the winter time, if I ever need to use this shelter or find that I need to use this shelter, I can put the reflective side toward a fire and have that heat radiate around me, and that's why this is my choice. And we'll go over these more in detail later in another video possibly. We'll move on. Container. For those of you who think they have to go out and spend god-awful amounts of money on titanium or the best of the best, I'm not saying not to do that, but I am saying there are cheaper alternatives, especially for those who are starting off in bushcraft who might not have the money or the funds available. There's no reason to go broke doing bushcraft. This bottle, for instance, cost me about $1. I got this at my local Goodwill. Yes, Goodwill. You need to shop at Goodwill. Goodwill, you can find tons and tons of these bottles. In the city I live in currently, we have 3 Goodwills, and each one of them carries basically the same stuff. However, if you can't find a bottle at one, you're going to find one at the other 2. You don't want to get a double insulated container. You definitely have to get one that's just one layer, and you want to make sure that it's stainless steel. And if you need to, read the labels. I mean, the labels will tell you this one says reuse this stainless steel water bottle. So you have to have a way to boil water, and that's why you need a stainless steel bottle. This is the best way to boil water, and after boiling the water, of course, it's going to be too hot. You're not going to be able to touch this thing. So you have to have a way to get it out of the fire, and you should always carry something around with you, some sort of a cloth, so you can wrap it around here, pull it off the fire, do what you need to. And obviously this is going to be too hot to drink from as well, so I carry around a Kuska cup, which I just strap onto the D-rings or clip onto the D-ring rings that are on the strap here, so that I don't burn my mouth and can enjoy hot coffee or what have you. So that's cover, container, and we're moving on to some sort of a combustion device. In my kit, I have more than one. We can move into my fire kit. This fire kit was made for me by a gentleman by the name of Daniel Sutton. Daniel Sutton Industries is he's a local guy from where I live, and he's a blacksmith, and he does all sorts of neat little things for reenactments, kind of like what Blackie Thomas does with his what he used to do with his rendezvous. Daniel made me this kit, and he made me a fire steel out of a old file, and it's a pretty big one, and he put this kit together for me. It has your steel, it has some jute twine, it has a large piece of flint with multiple sharp edges. This thing throws some really good sparks. He kindly, without me asking, made me some char cloth material and gave me some additional blue jean material to make some more char cloth. 100% cotton, has to be 100% cotton. I have added some fat wood to this kit, and with this device, as one source of fire and combustion, I have more ways of starting fires. I have the ferro rod. These are probably about everybody's favorite way to start a fire. A ferro rod, a very thick, fat ferro rod, and a good length can get you thousands and thousands of strikes. This one is still being struck. It's one of my newer ones. I have lots of videos coming up, and I have lots of fire starting videos and techniques and such, so those will be out soon. Well, I'll be getting a lot of strikes out of this, and that's two sources down. We also have our striker for that ferro rod that comes with a little button compass. I don't rely on that, but it does have a button compass. My other source of combustion, fire starting, which if you know any bushcrafters, or if you've been around the block and have seen several videos, you know that most, if not all, bushcrafters recommend a Bic lighter. Not only do they recommend a Bic lighter, they say to get bright colors. That way, when you're out and say it's getting late and you need to start a fire and you accidentally drop your lighter, this bright color should make it easier to locate in the grass or weeds or wherever you're at. And a lot of people take off this little ring in here, but I don't find any issue with leaving that on there. I've had no issues even in the cold, and it fires right up every single time. So that's yet another combustion device. I think that's going to be it for combustion. So we're going to move on to cordage. Most everybody who has a shelter has some sort of a ridge line. On my ridge line, I have some Prusik knots made out of some high-vis, bright orange paracord, 5-strand. And then the ridge line itself is a 7-strand paracord that has reflective qualities about it, so you can see it. What I did with my ridge line is I didn't go 25 feet, which is what most people do, which is a very common length of cord. I went about 40 feet, may have been about 50 feet, just for extra, because you never know when you're going to need extra cordage. So I did that. So this is probably 40 or 50 feet of ridge line. And then on top of that, where I keep my lighter, I have some cheaper paracord. This is probably about 25 feet. This is an older ridge line that I used to use, but the quality of this is not so great. So I've updated, of course. I've gotten better paracord, and this stuff still works, and it's just extra. It's just another hank. I've got some number 10, I believe, bank line that I've used for Prusik knots, and to help start fires. These are tar lined, just like my number 36 bank line. And I also have about 30 feet of that extra number 10 bank line. I have about a pound of number 36, but I don't keep that in this kit. I do have it in my vehicle at all times, and if I'm going on a big camping trip, I take that. I have some jute twine. This is, I think, 25 feet as well. Most hanks of cord should be about 25 feet. I have also just some maybe nylon tie out pieces of rope. This probably come with a tent or something of that nature, and maybe on my stakes, and I just took them off and I just said, you know what, that's extra cordage. So they're probably not going to work as well as they could. However, I have them. You never know. An emergency may arise and I might need this. So I have all those different types and styles and lengths of cord. This is also where I keep that Bic lighter, just so that I know that it's there. And that'll be it for cordage. We will move on to, let's see, last but not least, I believe, will be cutting tools. So we have cover, combustion, cordage, and container, and now we are cutting tools. With cutting tools, it's very, very, very important that you select the right cutting tool for you. Do you have to go and spend $200, $300, $400, $500 for a quality knife? No, you do not have to. You can splurge. You can certainly get away with that anytime you want. Do you want to go to the Dollar Tree and buy a knife for $1? Absolutely not. Can you go to Walmart and buy a knife from there? Absolutely. There are multiple places, multiple ways. There's Amazon, there's eBay, there's knife trade shows, there's sporting goods stores. You just basically have to shop around, look for some reviews, keep watching YouTube. Plenty of people suggest different knives. I kind of gone right in the middle, and I've gone with BPS knives. This one I believe I got from Amazon. I don't remember the exact price. It was probably between 40 and 60. I don't see the point in going more. This thing is built with quality. I mean, the leather is good. All of the brass that they used on here is amazing. The stitching, all of the leather is just really, really nice. It comes with a ferro rod. I did not have to purchase this. This come with it. I've yet to use this, but it's there. So another way to start a fire. This knife itself is, I believe the blade was a 4 or a 5-inch blade. It is carbon steel. It's got full tang, of course. That is one thing you have to do. I do not recommend buying a knife that is not full tang, and you should not buy a knife that you can't see that it's full tang, like in this one. This knife was done very well. It came right out of the box, super, super sharp. Don't even have to do a thing to it. However, if you do get a knife, you have to maintain it. You have to keep that edge sharp, and that is why I carry around a diamond sharpener. It has the smooth side and your rougher side. Very important. You could use a puck, certainly could use a puck. I do have a puck, but I use that for axes. I don't use that for my knives. I use this for my knives. And I forgot about another fire starting method. Just blended right into my pack. So I made this little pouch here out of a thinner leather. I just made that actually today. It has glass. This is an excellent way to start a fire if you, I guess, like to play around and finding multiple ways of starting fires. this is certainly one way. Solar, as long as it's sunny, of course, and it's during the day, of course. This is a fun way to start fires. Does it work every time? No. You really do have to mess around with it a little bit, and you'll find that sometimes it can be difficult, but it's definitely fun. It's just like using a ferro rod. It's just like using flint and steel. It's just fun. It's fun to experiment. It's fun to you know, test your skills and see what works best for you, or what doesn't work for you. All of these methods work for me. I've not really had much issue, other than like today, the clouds are in and out. So this might not work for today. We just covered the knife, so it has the extra lanyard here. You know, so you can have it hang off your belt rather than be attached to your belt right at your hip. I actually like the dangle because it just makes it for easier access. When you're sitting down, your knife isn't just against you. It can be, you know, free. You can access it anytime you need. You can pull it out, put it back in with ease. So with that, I have two other cutting tools. I just recently picked up the Silky Gomboy Outback Edition. This thing is, if you can get a full picture of that, this thing is amazing. The handle, I thought originally was wood. It does have wood as a part of it. It's more of like a composite. It just looks really neat. Plus, I like the black and tan together. It just looks more woodsy, more outdoorsy. This thing is the just a different version. I mean, instead of the bright orange, or just standard black handle or red or whatever, you don't have that shiny cookie cutter look. You know, this thing just looks more rugged. It just looks like it belongs in the woods. This thing is amazing. I've used it just once or twice. I haven't gotten out and done too much with it. I do plan to, at the new property, be able to use this thing a lot more. Like I said, I got full access to this property. It's got a creek. It's got everything that you would want to have where, you know, you're bushcrafting and setting up stuff. I also carry in my haversack, believe it or not, a small little condor. It's very nice. It's sharp. I got it on eBay, and the only reason why I think I got this thing so cheap is because it has a little twist in the handle. The grain is straight up and down as you would want it to be up here at the head, but as it comes down, there's a little twist. However, I haven't found any issues with this. I've dulled it down. I've gotten it back to sharp. I've had no issues with this little hatchet, but you know, it just makes it easier. A lot of people are always saying they want an axe, but they say they don't want an axe. A lot of people want to carry an axe, but sometimes they're just too big, too bulky, just get in the way. And this little condor is so small. It's like 12 inches, and it fits right inside my haversack with no issues whatsoever. So I have the knife, I've got the silky saw, I've got the axe, I've got a multi-tool that's got knives, and of course it's got your pliers and your file and screwdrivers and bottle opener and anything that you would need, you know, for any purpose whatsoever. And all of that fits inside this haversack, and that is it. That is my haversack. That is what I carry in my Blackbird haversack, gifted to me by my friend Blackie Thomas. And what I like to do now is, I know this video is going on 30 minutes, and I just want to touch on a couple of things. First off, a lot of people, like myself, believe it or not, in my area, we don't have a lot of birch trees. And birch is one of those things that folks like Blackie Thomas, Coal Cracker Bushcraft, Dave Canterbury, Corporal's Corner, just lots of bushcrafters and others alike are always using birch bark and showing you how to get birch bark and what it looks like and things of that nature. In my area, there isn't much to find. You're lucky if you find it every once in a while, but I have a little tip. This is probably the best tip I could offer when it comes to collecting birch bark. Since in my area we don't have a lot of forested areas that have a lot of birch bark in them, I have found an alternative way of collecting birch bark. In your area, much like most areas across the United States, there are apartment buildings being built. There are business complexes coming up. There are medical facilities always being built. And all of these facilities purchase and plant trees. And what I have found in my city is almost every place that's going up now is using birch trees. Gas stations, that's where a lot of these big pieces of birch came from, is gas stations and apartments. They have birch trees lining their sidewalks or up by their buildings. It's just a tree. It falls off. And pull up to one of these places. Just go into there and grab a couple handfuls. I have birch bark inside my city. I did not get any of this birch bark from the woods. I was looking around, and every time I drive past a place, I grab out my phone, go to my notes, open it up, and I have Circle K birch bark, apartments birch bark, Starbucks birch bark. Every time I see a tree that has birch bark, or a building, or a apartment complex, or a business of any kind, if I see birch bark, I grab my phone, throw it in my notes, so I can remember that, hey, that place had birch bark. Go get some. So that is my little tip, and I hope you take that and use it. And the only other thing I really want to talk about is everyday carry. This video is kind of dragging on, and I need to end it soon, but I just want to talk about the carry. So not only do I carry my haversack and all of its contents, I also have an everyday carry. I have my Buck 110, which was also an eBay purchase. I did not want a brand new one. I wanted one that has been around and has stood the test of time, and this thing is super sharp. This thing, I believe, was owned by an older gentleman who obviously took care of it, but I needed one. I needed another cutting tool. This is one that I do carry on my hip. I don't carry my big BPS knife, because you cannot be walking around the city with a knife like this attached to you. I mean, you could, but I don't. I carry this. Not only do I carry this buck knife in my pocket, I have my Swiss Army knife. You have to have some sort of a Swiss Army knife. I don't have one of the bigger, fancier, newer ones, but I have the classic one with the tweezers and the toothpick and, you know, all of the gadgets you need on a Swiss Army knife. I mean, I don't know that I'll ever be drinking wine in the woods, but I do have a corkscrew. I stuck a cheap little carabiner on it just so that I don't have it actually sitting in my pocket. I stick it, I loop it on the top of my pocket so that it kind of hangs inside my pocket so I can easily pull it out. So another knife, two knives. I do have one of those survival bracelets that comes with, you know, cheap little ferro rod and the striker and the little button compass that comes on it, plus the whistle. But mainly the reason why I get these when I see them is the paracord. These usually come with, I believe it's like 50 feet of paracord. So I always pick one up. I have several of these, but these bigger ones, the fatter ones, the ones with the green are my favorite because that is more outdoorsy and rugged looking. I don't really care for all the other gadgets except for the whistle, which also is on my striker, another whistle. I also carry a flashlight. This little flashlight is super bright. It extends out so you can get a more focused look. It's like $10. It comes with its own carabiner. This also slides into my pocket and rests on my pocket just like the Swiss Army knife. And the last thing that I carry, not only do I do the 5 C's and I have my everyday carry, I am also a licensed or permitted gun carrier. So I do carry on me the Taurus Millennium G2. It's not the most accurate gun, it's not the most desirable gun. It is just one that I carry just because it's small. It's compact. I don't carry it every day, but when I go to the woods, I do carry it. Safety's always on. I never have a round in the chamber, but it's with me. I carry it a lot when I go to outdoorsy type things, not state parks or anything like that, but like gun shows. I do carry this there. The public, I do carry it out in public sometimes, not that often, but this is just for safety. This is not an everyday carry that everyone should carry. Or, I mean, if you're legal, yes. If you're not legal, please don't carry. Please be safe if you do carry. This one is, like I said, safety's always on. It's never chambered. I never leave a round in the chamber. You can see that that is not raised up to tell you that it's loaded, but I do carry it. This is one of those that tucks into your pants, so it's a little more concealed, a little more to your body. Here would be my body, here would be the gun. It doesn't stick out. It's right where you want it to be. That is, in a nutshell, folks, what I've been up to. My last video, oh geez, has been probably 7 months ago, so I needed to get a video out. Like I said, I'm moving. I'm going from a 1,200 square foot house, 3-bedroom, to a 4-bedroom, over 3,000 square foot house with a huge yard and a little country-ish, small town feel. When I get into that house, I will show you how big the yard is. I will probably be doing some filming from there. There are a few trees that I can set up some shelters. I can do some fire building. But I just want to get in touch with you guys. I want to let you know what's been going on with me, and I hope that I continue to get your support. I have very few subscribers, but I do thank those who have subscribed, and if you haven't already done so and have watched all the way to the end, please consider liking and subscribing. And that's really all I've got for you today. If something pops up between here and my next video, I will just shoot and upload, and I hope to start making these videos more available, more regular. That was my hope from the beginning. Just, you know, life happens, and I'm just letting you guys know that I have not forgotten about you, and I hope you haven't forgotten about me. So until I see you again, get out there.